Good morning, everyone. My name is David Chu of Texas Law Talk. Thank you for visiting my channel and watching today's video. And today's video answers the question that landlords often call me and ask, and that is, what information do I need to go and file an eviction against my tenant that hasn't paid? So as you know, my name is David Chu. I practice law in Texas, so the information that I'm providing to you about evictions is specific to Texas. And as always, every legal case is different, so you definitely need to hire an attorney in your state. And this video is just for informational purposes only. So going back to the question is, what information does a landlord need to actually file an eviction once the 3-day notice to vacate has been sent? And the first document that you need when you file the eviction is the original petition for eviction. And that can be found on the website if you Google the name of your county plus small claims, and there should be a court website that takes you to a page with the forms, or you can download that. To get the original petition, you can also go directly to the court and ask for a copy of that original petition form from them. The second one is you need something called a certificate of last known status. In Texas, before you file a lawsuit, you have to fill out a form certifying that you know this address as the last known address of the defendant, whether it's a business or it's the name of the tenant. In terms of an eviction, you file the certificate of last known address where you just write down the name of the defendant or of the tenant and the address where the tenant lives, which is likely the residence that they live in. The third thing you need is a military status affidavit. And in Texas, you have to provide an affidavit saying whether the defendant is in the military, whether they are not in the military, or the third option on the non-military affidavit, or they call it the military status affidavit, is that you are not sure. And what happens is, in addition to the non-military affidavit, or they call it a military status affidavit, you need a printout from the Department of Defense Manpower Data Center. It's a website. You need to register the website, but it's a website through the Department of Defense where you can check to see whether or not a potential defendant or the tenant is actually in the military. And you would go online, just search for Department of Defense Manpower Data Center, and you set up an account, and you search by the first name, last name, and you would need a social security number to perform a check to see whether or not this person is in the military or their military service status. And the social security number should be on the lease application, and that's another reason why you should definitely ask for that at the time you apply, or at the time they apply for the lease. And the last two documents you need when you file an eviction in Texas would be, one, the copy of the 3-day notice to vacate. You would print out whatever you sent, and what I usually do is I print out a copy of the 3-day notice to vacate, and in addition, I also print out the tracking information that shows that the 3-day notice to vacate was delivered. Usually, I send my 3-day notice to vacate letters by certified mail return receipt, and I just go to the USPS website and print out that tracking information to show how it was delivered, well, at a minimum, to prove that I actually sent out the mail. In Texas, they're not required to actually sign that green card to show that they received it, but you have to show that you mailed it out. And that's where you would go online and print out the form to show when it was, to show when postage was paid on that certified mail letter. And finally, the last thing you need as a landlord when going to court is the copy of the lease. It's usually about 16 pages. It's the Texas Association of Realtors lease. And you would need to bring the full lease. However, I know that some courts, even though you bring the full 16 or 17 pages in that lease, typically what happens is the court wants maybe the first page that shows the name of the parties. The first page also shows the address or location of the property. And they may want the second page because the second page spells out when the rent is actually late, and the second page, or even the first page of the lease, depending on the lease agreement you have, will also include the rent amount. And also, the courts may not want to see the full page of the lease. They just want the first two pages, or the page with the party information, rent amount, and they want the last page to show that all the parties that are being sued for the eviction are the actual parties to the case. And what happens is sometimes the judge will make sure that the defendants in court that day are all the ones that were on the lease. And so that's it. Those are the 5 or 6 documents you would need to file an eviction. 1 is the original petition for divorce. 2 is the certificate of last known address. 3 is the non-military status affidavit. 4th is a copy of the lease, and 5th is a copy of the 3-day notice to vacate. Those are the 5 things you should have ready before you file that eviction case in Texas. Again, my name is David Chu. I answer your general legal questions. If you have any further legal questions about evictions or anything else, feel free to contact me. My phone number you can call or text anytime is 832-896-6288. Again, my phone number 832-896-6288, or you can email me attorney.dave@yahoo. It's also listed, or it's also shown here on the video, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.